driveways onto the road not a viable option.
Keith, what'd you do to your hand? Kevin, I mean, what'd you do there?
You know, I've been wearing a brace for several years. I finally had an operation a few weeks ago.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, and I'm out of the cast. I'm down to the brace.
Is it doing good?
Physical therapy yet?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
doing a lot of that.
Good.
So you'll be better at playing guitar than ever?
You know, I like it when people say, I'm gonna get an Eric Clapton guitar. It doesn't make you play like Eric Clapton. Right? So I
You
don't,
know, that's funny. I bought a golf club like that once.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
so, will it make me a better guitar player? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Well, wasn't it bothering you though when you were playing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I meant you'll be able
Well, I'm
to.
gonna give it a try tomorrow night. We're gonna see if I can hold a pick.
Play left-handed.
It takes two hands, big guy.
I know I tried to play guitar one time. I have a really nice Yamaha, but I can't play it. All right, I get to wrap the gavel. According to my phone, it is now 7 o'clock sharp. The August 6, 2020 meeting of the St. Charles County Board of Zoning Adjustment is hereby called to order. Chairman, please raise for a pledge of allegiance. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the meeting of the St. Charles County Board of Adjustment. I'm the board chairman, Jerry Prinster. The duties of the board include hearing requests to vary the zoning requirements in order to provide relief where the conditions of a property prevent development consistent with the intent or purposes of the applicable zoning regulations, and to render decisions on appeal from an action of the Director of the Division of Planning and Zoning when it has been alleged that a permit has been incorrectly issued or denied. The board members are citizen volunteers who are appointed by the county executive with county council approval. County staff members are also present to assist with these proceedings and advise the board. At this time, we ask that you please mute your cell phones, which I will certainly do my own. All right, I'm in silent mode. During the meeting, each case will begin with a presentation by the applicant, which is typically limited to 5 minutes. County staff will then have an opportunity to provide relevant information for the board to consider. Any written communications from the public will be entered into the record. The board will then take public testimony relevant to whether or not granting of this requested variance would be appropriate. All persons planning to speak at tonight's meeting must first complete a speaker's card and hand it to the recording secretary. Blank cards, easy for me to say, blank cards are located on the podium. Each speaker approaching the podium should submit their card, state their name, and be sworn in. Testimony should be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Each testimony has concluded. Once testimony is completed, I will close the public hearing and no further input from the audience will be taken. A board member will move to approve the application so that discussion and a vote may be taken. As required by county ordinance, at least 4 of the 5 board members must vote in affirmative for a variance request to be approved. If the variance request is approved, the applicant may proceed after the proper permits have been issued. Any decision of the Board of Zoning Adjustment may be appealed to the County Council within 14 working days after notification of the Board of Zoning Adjustment decision has been mailed. The Unified Development Ordinance of Zoning Maps of St. Charles County are hereby entered into the record. Please read the start of the public hearing. I hereby open this hearing. I'm reading my directions, by the way. I hereby open the public hearings on this case. Secretary, would you read the first variance request, please?
Variance number VAR 20-02. Application number VAR 20-02. Property owner James W. Clemens and Jill Bryant Clemens Living Trust, dated January 15th, 2015. The applicant is Smith Amundsen LLC. Variance requested, section 405.095.d.2. A request to vary the required front yard setback in the R2 two-family residential district from 25 feet to 21 feet for mutual court right-of-way. The property is zoned R2 two-family residential district. Parcel area is 1.10 acres. The location is on the north side of Duello Road, approximately 430 feet east of Charity Drive, adjacent to the city of Lake St. Louis in County Council District 2. Parcel account number T132300003.
Is the property owner, applicant, or representative here to speak on this application?
I'm here for the applicant.
Please approach the podium. Excuse me. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? They've dropped out, so help you God, but I still put that in, under the pains of penalties of perjury.
Yes.
Thank you. Please state your name and address.
My name's Lisa Johnson. I'm with Smith Amundsen, and I represent the applicant. My address is 120 South Central, Suite 700, St. Louis.
Thank you. Please make your presentation.
I was told I have to pull this out first.
As you can tell, we're not overly formal.
Yeah, I can see. So I apologize. Thank you for taking the time tonight, since this is the only application. We're requesting a variance from the front yard setback for the property, which is 1936 Duello Road. Let me just go. I don't know how to turn the page. There we go. Okay.
Has everybody on the board seen this? Okay.
And I've given you
Thank
each a copy of it as
Thank you.
well. This shows the location of the property along the new Duello Road project. The section along Old Duello Road and the new Duello Road running north and south there. It's the section in red. We're asking for a variance from the front yard setback for this R2 property, which is 25 feet is the requirement. We're asking for a reduction from 25 feet to 21 feet. First of all, I'll show you a few slides that kind of describe the property. This is a section from the last version of the preliminary plat that shows how the lots are situated with a 21-foot front yard setback, and that is from the road that goes through the subdivision, which is the neutral road, not from Old Duello Road, which is what is on top there. So it's on the interior is where the front yard setback is. So the criteria for the zoning variance is set out in section 405-590 of the county ordinance, and is to provide relief for the conditions of a property, prevent development consistent with the intent or purposes of the applicable zoning. And the Board of Zoning Adjustment can vary the strict application of the regulation. For example, in this case, the front yard setback if these four criteria are all met. First of all, if there are unique circumstances inherent to the specific piece of property, not to personal considerations of the owner, the variance is not needed as a result of the act of the property owner, which could have been avoided. The variance doesn't merely grant a special benefit to the property beyond that is enjoyed by other owners similarly situated in zoning. And then if application of the regulation would result in practical difficulties to the owner, which can involve those items in bold print there. So applying those facts to this case, I've got a few slides. This shows the property is the area marked in red there, and the yellow lines are the section of New Dweller Road that was has already been constructed, and then where it's proposed to go up to the north there. This property owner owned not just the strip of property, which is very narrow, but he also owns 60 acres to the right of the New Dweller Road. And so this project actually created this small strip of property that's created the need for this variance. Again, this is another section, this is another slide of that detail. The only other option for this property, other than reducing the area of the front yard variance by just 4 feet, would be to place the driveways out onto Dweller Road. That would be the only way that you could fit a developable lot along that narrow strip, but clearly that's not a viable option. You don't want 5 driveways out onto Dweller Road on that section for safety reasons, and it's very likely that that wouldn't be approved. So that's just showing that we have tried other options, and that wouldn't work. There was some discussion over tree preservation on the site, and so I added this to show that even though we're trying to fit this the development into this narrow lot, we are still preserving the trees that will shield the development from the subdivision interior from Dweller Road, and we're preserving that shield and also trying to fit this onto the lot. And so this slide and then the next one shows that these are from the preliminary plan that's being presented, and it shows that we're meeting all the county requirements for tree preservation on the lot. Then applying the factors required for the variance to this property, it is exceptionally narrow and shallow. The shape of the lot is such that we would not be able to do any development on the lot other than placing one home on the lot. Since it's R2, it's zoned so that more than one home could be placed on the lot. Now, 5 homes could be built on the lot under the R2 classification and meet the lot size and all the setbacks if the access was to Dweller Road, which I showed you the slide earlier. Again, that would not be permitted by the county, so that shows that we have met criterion 2, which is that we've tried to avoid asking for the variance, and that the variance is actually needed to meet the needs of this property, to have the benefits of other R2 zoned properties. Building the interior road so that the lot's front on that interior street would require 2 setbacks of 25 feet each, one on the Dweller Road side and one on the neutral road side. We've got the 26-foot road, which is the required minimum width for the road. And then there are 2 feet on the east and west sides, which are on the long sides of that property. So that's a total of 80 feet. And since the total width of this property is just from 96 feet on one end to 100 feet on the other end, that only leaves a buildable area for homes or for a dwelling from 12 to 20 feet. And so that's clearly not enough to build on that without approval of this variance. The difficulty on the lot is the narrowness of lot and the placement of New Dweller Road along the lot. This was created by the project. It was not created by the owner, and that was a project that was intended to be for the general public good. One of the requirements is that this not be to the detriment of the general public good, and so since this was created by something that was for the benefit of the public, that's another factor that works in favor of granting this variance. We did apply to planning and zoning for an interior road that was in a private easement area in an attempt to meet the other requirements. That was denied. And so we do need a separate right-of-way on the lot. We can't use a private road because we tried that and it didn't work. So we have sought other alternatives. Oh. Okay. Again, we have tried to avoid the need for the variance. Moving the houses away from the front yard setback would be moving it toward Dwella Road. We would run out of space on that side if we didn't. So we feel that this is the best area is in that front yard area to ask for just the 4 feet. The topography of the site slopes toward New Dwella Road, and utility poles are located on New Dwello, and so that's another reason that the variance would be requested on the interior toward that interior road. I took a look at the topography map on the county today. I think that in the Windstone subdivision, the elevation is 600 feet. In this property area, it's 580, and then it moves down to 560, so it definitely does slope away. There was some talk of runoff from the development toward Windstone, but that would not be the case. The elevation runs down away from a Windstone. So that's another reason that granting this variance, which would permit development on this lot, does not cause substantial detriment to the public good. It doesn't remove the trees. We are planting trees to assist not only in, we're not removing that barrier between the subdivisions, we're also planting more trees on the lot in the cul-de-sac area to meet the county requirement for tree preservation. And then stormwater would not be flowing toward that development, it would be flowing away from it. So there's no public detriment to granting this variance, which would permit development on the lot. Again, I just spoke about the trees. And then again, granting the variance would not substantially impair the purpose or integrity of the zoning regulations because it would allow for R2 zoning to allow development on this lot. Just by this one variance, every other requirement of the county is met with the plan that we've got here, using just this one variance. And so it would be a good use of this property under R2 zoning. That's just from the application. And then in conclusion, showing that all these criteria are met, which is the requirement. There are unique circumstances inherent to the subject property that create the need for the variance. It's not the result of an act of an owner. It was an act of the county in using the property or dividing this property and creating this narrow strip that caused the need for the variance. It would not be granting a special benefit to the property. It would just be bringing it into the zoning that it was granted and allowing it to be developed in that way. And then failure to grant the variance would create practical difficulties, including all the factors that were listed in the definition of the difficulties, which included financial hardship, inability to develop the property. If you look at that definition, it definitely creates the practical difficulties shown there. And then granting it would not pose a substantial detriment to the property for the reasons that I spoke of earlier. That's all that I have.
Thank
If you
you.
have any questions?
Would staff like to provide any information regarding this variance request?
Staff has no additional information to add.
All right, thank you. How about the board members? Kevin?
Is this preliminary plat pretty much what you guys are gonna do? You're not gonna change it?
We actually have changed it to accommodate requests of the county and to make sure that this is the only thing remaining that we would need a variance for. So we've actually fit everything into, we've made a few changes. I mean, what you see there is what we plan to submit because, like I said, it does meet the tree preservation requirements. We've got all the widths necessary other than the front yard setback. And so, yes, that would be, barring some other unforeseen circumstance, that would be what we would submit.
And a question for the county, is it all right to do this by the whole property, or should we do it lot by lot? What is it?
Well, currently it is one large lot, currently.
That's the 90 by 100?
Yeah.
Okay, or 90, okay.
Because it's not platted yet.
What do you intend to put in there?
There will be 2 attached homes So there'd be 4 residences and then 1 single detached home. So 5 dwellings, 3 buildings.
It struck me as funny when I was looking at this, that they zoned that second family in an area where there was none of that zoning. That almost seemed like spot zoning to me, but I'm not here to question that.
Right.
That's why I'm asking if they had any changes. to it.
Yeah. So you're talking about two and 1,
Right,
5
right.
residences.
That's right. And I think you can see that on the one, I don't know if I have control of this. You'll see it on the one sheet. You can see that there's 2 buildings that are connected on the lot line, and then there's a single dwelling that's on the single lot.
Okay. Has the county received any kind of comments from anybody else? Robert, you're not getting off without talking.
For the variance, no, we have not.
Okay. Would anyone else from the audience like the testimony in the support or opposition to this variance? Seeing none, I will close that testimony.
Thank you.
So I've closed the public hearing. What do I hear from my compatriots?
Make a motion to approve the variance.
Staff recommendations?
Yeah, staff would recommend that the front yard setback variance only be applied to the new road they're constructing, the Tool Court.
Did we, meaning the county, sort of create this by how we moved Duella Road? I spent some time out there this past weekend, and
My
I
understanding-
couldn't specifically pin that down.
Yeah, my understanding is the county highway department purchased the land for the road,
Okay,
which would have created the issue. Which would have
okay,
created the shallowness of the lot.
okay. So we have a motion on the floor?
Would you like me to explain that a bit further or
No,
not? Okay, sorry.
unless we turn you down. I got a motion on the floor?
What is your motion, Kevin, with the staff recommendation?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Yes.
You got it?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good presentation, by the way.
Yeah.
And I went out there, I like that area, by the way. I was out there over the weekend looking at this property, and good. Glad you got it.
Thank you.
Well,
Motion to approve the minutes from February 6,
can you
2020.
believe February?
So I have a question about that.
Yes?
It says that I was here, I think I was here, but there's, in the back in the voting, there's no,
I don't think you were here.
No, you didn't show
I don't
up.
think you were here either.
You didn't show,
why did it say members present?
Well, just because we like to mess with you.
I don't know.
I was like, I don't remember this, but it said I was here, and then it didn't say I voted, so then I was like,
Don't,
we went with
don't
both.
you hate it when you have to say, I don't remember whether I was...
I know.
Okay, so we need to change the minutes accordingly? Just remove you from the members present, put you in the members absent,
Yeah,
okay?
if I was really not here, that would be great.
I'll take your word for it. Any other corrections? Motion for approval as amended?
I make a motion that we
Okay.
approve as amended.
Kevin makes a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
We gotta do this during the meeting, or we do this after, does it matter?
Uh-oh, they'll tell us what to do. I hope it's not 6 months before we get to see each other again.
I know. I can't figure out why I wasn't here.
I'm not going there.
Oh, this is something?
Robert, you had something?
Come on, Vic.
Sorry, making a mess. Ooh,
You don't get out much?
no. Are you kidding?
Is it Vicky or Leslie? Who has the oath of office?
Are we supposed to do
It's
this?
Vicky and me, it's Vicky and me.
Yeah.
Okay, after the meeting, if you want to join me, I'll have you sworn in for the next.
Okay.
term.
Just the two of them or all of us? Just the two, okay.
So
I
we
can't
can,
believe that was 4 years already.
Boy, isn't that
That's
hard to
crazy.
believe.
so we can adjourn the meeting, more or less, we don't have to do this during the meeting.
Somebody make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second? Vicky?
In favor?
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned officially at 7:24.